Insurance Black Box.
Help! My homeowner's insurance is going up because the insurance company is increasing my coverage. So let me give you a scenario here. You just bought a new homeowner's policy 30 days ago. Now, we could apply this to a commercial policy as well, but for all intents and purposes, for this video, we're just going to refer to it as a homeowner's insurance policy. So you bought an insurance policy 30 days ago, and you receive a notice in the mail. When you started the policy, you were good with the rate, you saved a bunch of money, but now let's say they're increasing your coverage by $200,000, and you were at $400,000. Now they're going to up the coverage to a total of $600,000. Well, is this normal? Yes, it is. It is normal in the insurance world for carriers to go out, and in Texas they have a due diligence period of 60 days. I'm not going to speak to other states, but a lot of states operate in a similar fashion. So in that 60-day period, they have an opportunity to do their due diligence, even inspect the property, go out, do their research and investigation, and if they don't find something that they like, or they find something they want to change from what was put on the application, they can, in this scenario, increase your coverage because the actual replacement cost estimate they came up with was a lot higher than what the agent put on the application. And the agent should have done a replacement cost estimate, but the insurance carrier didn't agree. They can do this. They're certainly within their right to do this within the first 60 days. And then with that increase comes a price increase as well. And sometimes, like a $200,000 one is going to cause typically quite an increase. That first $200,000 typically doesn't cost as much as that $400,000. But it still would be a substantial increase anytime you're increasing the coverage that much. What can we do to avoid this? Number one, if you know the replacement cost of your home, the amount it would cost to rebuild is a lot higher than what you're trying to insure it for, I would say that's at least part of that's on you. Part of it may be on the agent for not being thorough enough. But I can tell you this, at times, even as us as agents, we don't always get it right. We collect as much information, but there are even times where the insurance carrier will attribute maybe, a bathroom being custom and we said it was semi-custom. Those are very arbitrary categories that they put these in, and they typically will have a different opinion in these scenarios on certain categories. That happens quite a bit. We try to go a little bit on the high side. That way, when the insurance company comes out, that person doesn't come and get an increase unexpectedly. That's the last thing you want as an agent. In my office, our policy is as soon as we find out they're increasing the coverage, we are going to call you and explain to you what happened and try to mitigate the process. Now, what can you do? Number one, you can try to renegotiate it. As an agent, what I will do is I'll ask the insurance carrier to send me their inspection report, send me their new replacement cost estimate, and see where we went wrong. I've actually seen before where the insurance carrier went out to an entire different property. The inspector did not go to the right address. In that case, we've got a good argument. And a lot of times we can go and mitigate that process when something extreme like that happens. That's very rare, but I've actually had that happen before. Maybe the inspector missed something. Maybe he missed the roof slope. Maybe he missed the type of roof, the shape of the roof. If they got that wrong, I will call the carrier and say, hey, look, this guy put this as a gable roof and it's a hip roof all day long. There's no gable parts on this roof whatsoever. In that case, I've got a decent argument. I may be able to go back to that carrier and say, change this. But I've seen carriers even dig their heels on the ground when one part of the roof is that other shape, and they want to categorize it at that. It doesn't make any sense, but at the end of the day, it's their decision. The carrier has the advantage in this scenario. You can't force them to change their replacement cost estimator. So what if that doesn't work? What can you do? Well, you can always switch carriers and go get new quotes. That could leave a bad taste in your mouth because if your rates aren't the same with your prior carrier or you can't find a similar rate and all the other rates are higher, it's not going to do you really any good. It's not a solution if all your other rates are higher. Also, too, if you try to insure that property for a lower value, again, the same thing could happen with another insurance carrier. They all operate under the same policies that have been legislated. They're all regulated the same way. They all can do this. So you may be wasting your time if you're trying to lowball the coverage again. But it is possible sometimes to get a little bit lesser of a rate with another carrier with that higher coverage, or something in between. Maybe you and your agent talk and you feel like that they really were overkill on certain attributes. Maybe we're willing to try another carrier again. Okay, so another scenario that could happen is the insurance carrier is not only not increasing your coverage and giving you a price increase like in that other scenario. You have actually gone into a scenario where let's say you live in a $1 million home, and they did an inspection and said it was 1.5 million. In that scenario, a lot of times it'll be out of the insurance carrier's appetite, maybe, and they don't send you a notice that they're going to increase the coverage. They're sending you a notice that they're getting off the risk in a certain number of days, and they're sending you a notice of cancellation. A lot of times that notice of cancellation will be 15 to 30 days. Whatever is written in the policy or whatever the rules are and guidelines set by the state of the notice that they have to give you. So you have to go find coverage somewhere else. So it's never a good idea to lowball your coverage. There's other things and factors that could also play where it's a disadvantage. Maybe you've got a co-insurance clause that says you have to insure it for 80% or you could be penalized on a claim. Um, that in that scenario, if you were below 80% of the replacement cost estimate at a time of a loss, an insurance carrier can actually penalize you for your claim if you're severely underinsured. As soon as you get below, if it's an 80% co-insurance, as soon as you get below that 80%, that's when they can start knocking off money off that claim based on their co-insurance clause. So you don't want to be underinsured. That's never, ever a good idea. The main thing is try to get it as accurate as possible. If you feel like you're underinsured, go back to your agent and say, hey, I know we couldn't rebuild this house for this amount. I think we need to increase the coverage. Now, another trick that I've seen, at least people have told me that other agents have told them, hey, we've got this extended dwelling coverage for, let's say, 50% on top of that. Don't worry about it. You can always utilize that. That is a big misconception, and if an agent's telling you that, I would say run away. If they're specifically telling you that, go find yourself another agent, because that coverage is not intended to circumvent the co-insurance. That coverage is meant to circumvent a claim where, let's say you got a material spike, and let's say it was a giant wildfire like they've been dealing with in California, and materials just go way up because millions of acres of fire just burned thousands and thousands of houses. Lumber goes up, shingles goes up, everything like that. In order to rebuild your house right now, you need that extended dwelling coverage to tap into. That does not play a role in the insurance carrier's valuation. That set dwelling amount should be what the estimated current replacement cost is. I hope this helps. Uh, I will do another video probably later on co-insurance to delve deeper into that, but that's not for this video. Thank you very much.